Hello and welcome to another Vant Trading video. This is another trading platform review. This one we are covering Tradestation, and more specifically the desktop app associated with Tradestation. This is a very popular app for those who want to create automated trading strategies, some day traders, long-term traders. It's very popular, has a lot of features, a lot of cool and interesting and unique things about it. Again, I'm going to reiterate that all platforms, will do some things really well and really interesting, and some things will be pretty terrible and will need some fixing. No platform is going to be great at everything. The trick is to just find a platform that's good for you and fits your trading style. So let's dive into Tradestation. Ultimately, Tradestation has a strong point in terms of it can be very good for traders who want to have an automated trading strategy. Now, that is definitely not to say that you cannot trade on this thing as a day trader. There are plenty of day traders who do. We have day traders here who trade on this platform on a daily basis. You can also trade on this on a long-term basis. It has that capabilities. It's just, they excel in some other areas as well. First, talking about the fees and commissions. They have two different options. One is a flat $5 per trade with no software fees, free premium tools, and free data. Another is a 0.01 per share that go for the first 500 shares that then decreases to 0.006 after the first 500 shares. That second flexible bundle isn't the best in the market. It's not the worst. That first one's not bad. In terms of fixed pricing structures, it's not the worst. It's not the best, but if you're trading high volume, or if you're someone who trades medium volume, or maybe long-term trades, it may be something that can save you a little bit of money and get you some features at the same time. They also have an unbundled base that depends on the shares you're trading, and that looks like that. 0.01 per share, like we said, with the 0.006 after the first 500 shares, and then that decreases the more shares you do. And that goes up to 0.002 per share with 5 million shares executed in a month. That may seem like a lot. This general structure is about standard for the industry. It's not bad. It's not the best. We see some cheaper ones for day traders. But again, if you're not going to be making that many trades in a day, some of these options are actually going to be pretty decent for you. So, it's not something that's going to be a barrier to entry for you. In terms of types of accounts they have, well, you can create an individual account, some joint accounts if you want to share your account with someone else, IRAs, entities, custodials. You can do a lot of flexibility here, which is very nice. Maybe you want to set up an account with multiple people and you all, have some trading ideas for automated systems. Maybe you set up a small little hedge fund account. There's a lot of options here, and their barriers to entry with account minimums is low. Only $500 for cash and $2,000 for margin. And again, you get the standard 4-to-1 intraday and 2-to-1 for positions overnight. Pretty decent requirements, nowhere near strict and stringent compared to a lot of, other platforms. And you can open up an account with a small account. Use some of the features, see what you like, test it out, maybe start going serious on it. They do have a mobile app, so you can trade on the go, monitor your positions, place orders in real time. We haven't used it extensively. It seems like one of the more solid apps in the industry if you're a trader. All the mobile apps seem to be halfway decent. This one seems to be continuing to meet the mark like all the others. It's not too bad. In terms of promotions, that's going to, again, vary per platform and per day that you're actually signing up. So I would be sure before you ever sign up for a platform to ask them if they have any promotions going, because sometimes they'll add a little extra money to your account. If you're bringing in a lot of money, they may give you some commissions back for a certain amount of time. It really depends. It never hurts to ask when you're signing up. Their customer support is actually pretty good. We've typically had very good service from them. Their trading desks and their client services have been very good. We've had our own little dedicated kind of service with some of the things we're doing, especially when it comes to the automated systems and the API and coding systems. We've had some of our go-to contact people that have been able to help us very consistently. They have experts in different areas of the platform. So when you do reach someone, if they can't answer your question, they can typically point you in the right direction. Sometimes you'll have to wait. The waits can vary. If it's a busy time in the day or they just happen to get a lot of call volume, you may have to wait. But, this is good for the industry typically. Again, you could end up calling someone, they could be having a bad day, and, your experience could be a little less, but our average experience has been very positive with them. They've been very helpful, reaching out via both email and phone, and they've helped us with some of our issues. In terms of hotkeys, it's not bad. It's actually halfway decent. Let me see if I can pull up how to do the hotkeys here real quick. So in terms of the hotkey capabilities, we can go up here and go to View, we can go to Shortcuts, and they have both hotkeys and macros. So we go to hotkeys, you can see some of the things that they can do, some of the commands. A lot of it will do with, managing and navigating around the platform itself, pulling up different windows, navigating the windows, saving your layout. There's also going to be order entry macros, where you can buy things and, sell short and edit things and improve. Sometimes you're going to have to do a little reading to figure out what some of them do, but overall they're not going to be terrible. In terms of some of the other stuff you can do, it's not the best in the industry. You're not going to be able to get in there and create this custom key that can route to different market makers and ECNs and things like that. The hotkeys are, they're not the thing that they tout as being their bread and butter. You can get in and out of market. You can limit at different prices with different share sizes using the bid and ask and things, but you can't do things like get me out of half my position or get me out of a quarter of my position. But, there are ways around this. So like if you're long 1,000 shares, you can have a hotkey to sell 500 shares, which is half your position, but that's not an easy and customizable way. It's very different. But, they do have the basic hotkeys. They aren't a leader in this area, but they have ways for you to kind of speed up your trading and make it a little better. Locating shares actually isn't terrible on this platform, mainly because it's built in the platform. This is the share locate. And the reason it's not showing you is because we're on a simulated trading account, which is something that they have and is actually very helpful, but we'll cover later. They have a way to locate the shorts, for hard to borrow stocks if you need to short something and they don't have shares available. This is one of the only platforms we know of that doesn't cost you money to locate your shares. It's actually pretty surprising. You don't have to pay money generally to locate the shares. They reach out there and they see if they can find them. And if they locate them, they'll give them to you for that trade. However, that can make it harder to locate the shares. So if you're trying to find something that's very hard to locate, it's not unrealistic to expect to not find any shares, while traders on other platforms may find shares at a cost. You can attempt to call them for shares, but that's something we haven't really explored much. But being able to locate shares for stocks on a platform can really speed up things. If there's a sudden stock that you didn't see before and, it's in the middle of the day, a play setting up, you want those shares quickly, it's nice to have that option. In terms of ease of entry and entering positions, not terrible. You can see at the bottom of this market maker window here that, there's a little window where you can put in the shares, limit price, stop price. You can put in different things like that. So that's actually a big help. Overall, that'll actually, help you speed things up. And some of the hotkeys will, generally give you an easy way to get in and out. Now, it's obviously not going to be the best ease of entry because they don't have the craziest and most detailed custom order keys, but it's not going to be something that's going to hinder you necessarily. Their charting, like many of the other platforms we review, like eTrade or Tradestation, is fine. You can see the chart right here. It's easy to see. You can change the time frame pretty easily. They do have tick, minute, daily, weekly, monthly data. You can do drawings. You can do a decent amount of studies. If I pull up the studies here, they actually have a lot of studies. So actually, I would categorize these as one of the, better, low-grade charting platforms. It's not a think or swim in terms of, in our opinion, in terms of visibility, but it's got a lot to it. I think these are one of the higher end charts personally, and I think that there's a lot of customization you can do with your charts. It's definitely a step up from some of those other competitors that we were talking about. And like eTrade and Interactive Brokers and some of those other platforms, you create these pages at the bottom here, and you navigate the pages, you create the different layouts on the pages, and you can spread those pages out across your monitors. So you can do these multi-monitor setups, no problem. You can do different things, so you shouldn't have problems with that. In terms of news services, yes, they do. And kind of going into that, let's talk about their app store. This is a unique thing with this platform. You don't really see these app stores like this, but you go into the apps, and this is how you can add things. Market depth, news, screens, scanners, time and sales, basket orders, things like that. They even have some algos already in here that you can take a look at and maybe try using. It's just algo orders and things like that. It's nothing that's going to be crazy, obviously. But, they do have the news. So let's pull up the news service. You can talk about the name. You can talk about the symbols that you want in here, the keywords that you want it to search for. And bam, there's the filters. It pulls up all the recent news from Benzinga. And, you can go in and you can read some of the articles and things like that. It can do a decent amount. You can link it to things. So if you pull up another symbol in a market maker or something, let's see if we can do this real quick. You can pull up Apple, and it pulls up Apple in here, and it pulls up the news, and it pulls up the news for the day. Now, they're only using Benzinga. There may be other news services, you can pay for and subscribe for to pull from. But you're not going to get like every single wide sweeping news service like you may in some others, but it really depends what you're paying for and what you're looking for. But it's not the worst service in terms of getting news and being able to link it to the things you want and being able to customize the news that you're receiving to fit what you're looking for. Let's go back to this apps real quick, because this app store is very interesting. People are going out there and designing these like app things, these different specific apps for Tradestation that you can use in your trading. It's actually really interesting and really cool. You can go in here, you can see trading apps, you can see indicator apps, strategies, things like that. And sometimes you subscribe for them. A lot of times they're free. It really depends. So that's a unique thing that, a lot of other platforms won't have, where you can find these other features and these cool other things that another platform won't necessarily have, because someone's gone in and coded it in and offered it to you for free or for a small price every month. So that's a very interesting thing that you may want to decide to look into. In terms of API and their automated system, that's something that they're very good at, and we mentioned it before. So if we go into here, and we pull up Easy Language, it pulls up their development environment right in here. And then this is where you can do your coding. You can code your strategy. You can give indicators and do a lot of things in here. You can have it auto trade, and you can also, you can back test in a variety of ways, from years back in minute data, to years back of daily data. That's a big deal, because a lot of these platforms that do have API don't necessarily have a back tester. So you need to already have an idea if your platform, if your trading strategy is going to work, and if it's going to work in different market environments. And with Tradestation, you can backtest these strategies to see how it would have done a year ago and make sure that your platform is going to continue to work. And it'll break down the results according to long trades, short trades, what your winning percentage is, your average net profit, how big your largest winners and losers are, things like that. And we gave a nice screenshot in the write-up portion, that just kind of shows one of those reports. And, you can get performance graphs. But if you have an idea for automated trading, or if it's something you want to toy with and learn, this could be a great platform to experiment with that. And they've got a great support staff that can help you with that. Now, as we mentioned, they do have simulated trading. This is a simulated trading account. You couldn't even really tell the difference unless you looked at this intraday short locate window. You get X amount of fake dollars, and it lets you trade them. It lets you pretend like you're live trading. You can live trade your automated accounts or your automated strategies, make sure those work. So again, this is one of those features that a lot of platforms don't necessarily have, but it's a great thing when they do, because if you're a new or inexperienced trader, or maybe you just have a new strategy that you're not confident about, this can be a way for you to really test that out and get some practice and get some confidence in what you're doing before you try to go out there and put some real money behind it. So that'll largely cover it for Tradestation. It's another one of these kind of, workspace tab trading platforms, but they do have some cool features. They've got their front page where they have university, and they have these morning webinars. and things like that. You know, they try to give you a lot of value in their platform. They've got a very good API system. They've got actually pretty decent charts and order execution. You know, it's a pretty decent middle ground for both of them. Neither is going to be the best and neither is going to be the worst. And, you know, overall, there's nothing that's really going to sit there and stand out to you necessarily and be like, I wouldn't, you know, would never use it because of X or because of Y. There may be traders who look at it and, you know, they figure I don't need all of this, or there's something that they don't have that I need. But in terms of what they focus on and what they're good at, Tradestation can do some things very well. And if you like the idea of that app store, you like the idea of the automated trading, and, you know, you want to look into this more, they have the simulated trading account that you can practice with. And, you know, it may be worth looking into. If you're going to open up a trading platform somewhere, it's going to be necessary that you do the due diligence. You watch multiple videos like this. You do the reviews. You see if you can get a test account to try the platform out, because, you know, you want to make sure you're comfortable with what you're going to be trading on, because that's how you're going to be making money. If you're not using the proper tools to build a house, the house is going to fall apart and you're going to lose money. That's going to cover it for today. I hope the video was a big help. Again, we only scratched the surface with these things, but we like to give you a general visual representation and impression of what we think of them, cover some of the topics and the basics, and ultimately make you a better informed trader so that you can make more money. So safe trading out there, and we can't wait to see you next time.